and try this live. This is a Twitch live stream in VR, and I'm gonna see if this chat actually works up here. You can't see, but I can. Going from virtual desktop into Steam VR, which has a desktop resizer, going to a second monitor. And I shrunk that little monitor down, and I can see it up here. It's just Twitch chat. And we are going to attempt learning for the very first time a F4 Phantom cold start all the way up to whenever I gotta leave to do something. Okay. Wish me luck.
Welcome, I'm Vulture, and I'll be your instructor for this first lesson.
Howdy, Vulture.
Today you will learn the startup procedures for the F4E Phantom 2, focusing on pilot tasks. We will start off cold and dark on the ramp, where you will be taught to accomplish these 4 procedures. Before interior inspection, before starting engines, and starting engines.
Request rearming. Copy.
Nice.
Okay, let's begin with the before interior inspection procedure. During this, we will only check the most important and safety critical items. This abbreviated procedure can be used whenever time is a critical factor. Before you continue, put your helmet on. It is located on the right canopy rail.
Okay.
The first step is to check that external power is off. This is to make sure that no power is applied to the aircraft before some important switches are checked for their correct positions. Now, look out to your left and observe the ground power unit, also known as a Dash 60. Note the cables and hoses coiled on top. None of these cables or hoses should be connected to your aircraft at this time.
Okay.
Next, and most importantly, check that both the left and right generator switches are in the off or middle position.
Check.
Check that the landing gear handle is pressed in and in the down position.
Check.
Check that all the armament switches are in the off or safe position. This includes the master arm switch, the armament safety override switch, and all 6 weapon arm buttons.
Check.
Next, check that the pitot heat switch is off.
Check.
Let's check the battery relay closure. For this, simply move one of the engine master switches forward to on. Observe that the slats and flaps indicators are showing the corresponding positions in and up. Also check the 3 landing gear position indicators. If the gear down symbols don't become visible, there is something wrong with the battery or the relay. After confirming the indications, move the engine master switch back to off. And last but not least, make sure both engine master switches are off.
Check.
Good. Now ask the crew chief to connect external power. You can communicate with the crew chief via the gesture menu.
A. You're running.
Next, set both the left and right generator switches to external on. Finally, let's check the transformer rectifier units. Both TR units are operating if the 3 landing gear indicators indicate gear down, with the engine master switch is set to the off position and the generator switch is in the external on position.
Okay.
Task 1, before interior inspection procedure completed. I am starting the INS preheat now. Okay, let's continue with the interior inspection procedure. Again, we will only check the most important and safety critical items. And this abbreviated procedure can be used whenever time is a critical factor.
Okay.
Adjust the seat position up or down to match your body height by using the switch on the lower right forward side of the seat. A good starting point is setting your eyes level with the top of the gun sight glass. On the auxiliary panel, check that the gyro switch is set to normal.
All the way over here? Yeah. Normal.
Check that the boarding steps position indicator is protruding, indicating the steps are in the raised position.
Looks raised to me.
Make sure the internal wing transfer switch is set to the norm position.
Norm.
Also, check that the internal wing dump switch is set to the norm position.
Norm.
And finally, check that the air refuel switch is set to the retract position.
Yeah. Retract.
Task 2, interior inspection procedure completed. Now, we are going to prepare the aircraft for engine start. The necessary steps are covered in the before starting engines procedure. We will do everything to enable a safe engine start inside and outside the aircraft. Check that your seat pins are removed and stowed. Check that the wheel chocks are set and in place. The crew chief is already giving a thumbs up to indicate that they are in place.
Okay.
Now verify that the fore and aft areas around your aircraft are clear. This includes checking the engine intake and exhaust areas, as well as the starter exhaust area. The crew chief has already given a thumbs up indicating no persons are located within the danger areas. Your part is to check that the cockpit and canopy rail areas are clear of persons and equipment.
Clear.
Look over to the right and observe the fire guards standing by during the startup phase. Finally, and this is very important, check that your throttles are both in the off position. A caution, attempting a pneumatic start with throttles out of the off position will result in fuel puddling and the possibility of a hot start or fire. Task 3, before engine start procedure completed. Okay, we are now going to start up the engines, which is covered in the starting engines procedure. Note that you will be required to interact with both the crew chief and various cockpit controls. Therefore, it's important to pay attention to the sequence and tempo of the required steps and events. Take your time to study these procedures first until you are familiar with them. Also note that we will be exposed to loud noise during the starts, so it is a good idea to know all the steps by heart. We will begin whenever you're ready.
Yeah, 1 sec. Ready.
First, tell the crew chief to connect external air to the right engine.
Right engine.
Roger. And connected on the right.
Cool. Now what?
Move the right engine master switch forward to on. tell the crew chief to activate external airflow to the engine.
Start airflow.
And done.
At 10% RPM, press and hold the right ignition button.
Oh, there we are. Okay. Gotta find the button.
Move the right throttle lever out of the off position and move it halfway forward.
Hold on. Let me disconnect my HOTAS linking.
Now bring it back to idle, still holding the ignition button.
Okay, there we go.
When EGT starts increasing rapidly, release the ignition button. Now tell the crew chief to stop external airflow.
Yep, done.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Wait for the engine to stabilize, then check the following values on the engine instruments. EGT between 220 and 420 degrees.
Okay.
Fuel flow between 800 and 1400 pounds per hour.
1100.
Idle RPM around 65%, plus
64.
minus 1%. Right boost pump pressure around 30 psi, plus minus 5 psi.
Yep.
Oil pressure between 12 and 50 psi.
Roger. Check.
PC2 hydraulic pressure showing 3000 psi, plus minus 250 psi. And utility hydraulic pressure showing 2755 psi, plus minus 255 psi.
Locked in both.
Good. Now, after confirming that the engine is operating normally, move the right generator switch to the on position. Ask the crew chief for the spoiler actuator check. Move the stick slightly to the left and wait for his confirmation. Then center the stick and again wait for his confirmation.
Ready. Full deflection. Something is wrong. Yep, retracted. Ready. Ready. Full deflection. Yeah, something's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Retracted.
Move the air refueling door switch to the extend position and wait for the crew chief's confirmation that it is open.
Door open, sir.
Where is
Move the
it?
switch back to the retract position and wait for the crew chief's confirmation that it is closed again.
Oh, it's up there.
Door closed.
Okay, now we're going to start the left engine. Connect external air to the left engine.
Roger.
Be nice if this lived on your knee.
Connected on the left.
Okay.
Move the left engine master switch forward to on. Activate external airflow to the engine.
Done.
At 10% RPM, press and hold the left ignition button.
Okay, we're at 10.
Move the left throttle lever out of the off position and halfway forward. Now bring it back to idle. When EGT is increasing, release the ignition button. And now stop external airflow.
Done.
Okay.
Check that the engine parameters match the values of the right engine, same as before.
Match.
After confirming that the engine is operating normally, move the left generator switch to the on position. Ask the crew chief again for the spoiler actuator check. Move the stick slightly to the right and wait for his confirmation. Then center the stick and again wait for his confirmation.
Slightly to the right. Okay.
Yeah, ready. Okay. Partial deflection.
There we go.
Yep, retracted.
Cycle the right generator switch to off and then back on again. Check that the red buzz tie open light is extinguished.
Check.
Good. Now tell the crew chief to disconnect external air.
Roger. Yes, sir. Disconnected.
And finally, disconnect external power.
Roger. Yes, sir. External power is disconnected.
Task 4, engine start procedure completed. I am starting the INS stored heading alignment now. Okay, now go through the engine start checklist on your own to make sure all the bold items were done.
Chalk set. Engine stabilized. Left on. Right on. Left engine 65 plus minus 1. Right engine 65 plus minus 1. Left generator on. Right generator on. Bus tie open light out. External air source disconnected. External air power. External power disconnected. Roger. All done.
Well done. This concludes this lesson.
Excellent.
Okay, INS is now nav. You're cleared prime and sync.
Thanks. But we're done with the mission. So let's go to the next one. Taxi.
Please wait until your aircraft is ready.
Whoa.
Roger.
Welcome. This lesson deals with the taxi procedures of the F-4E Phantom II with a focus on pilot tasks. It is the continuation of Lesson 1, Startup. We are already hot on the ramp, and the aircraft is in the same condition in which you left it after completing Lesson 1, Startup.
I like that.
I will guide you through two procedures, before taxi and taxi. We will request taxi clearance from ATC and taxi to the holding point for runway 07. Note that for the moment this lesson doesn't cover steps 9 ARI, 13 AFCS, and 14 STABOX.
Oh, I see them. They're right there.
Good. Let's begin with the before taxi procedure. This procedure ensures that all systems are prepared to enable you to taxi safely. We're going to ask the crew chief to help check various systems because, simply put, we can't see them from the cockpit. In this lesson, we will use TACAN navigation as our first choice, so we will set up our navigation equipment accordingly.
All comms are right there.
First, set the UHF radio mode selector to the TR plus G position. Transmit. Next, check that the radio's preset manual switch is set to preset, as we will use a preset channel stored in the radio's memory.
Roger.
Now rotate the comms channel selector knob to select preset channel 5, which is the frequency of. Set the TACAN mode selector to the TR position. Check that the TACAN channel display is showing
Kubaleti.
067 X-ray. This is the TACAN station located directly at Kubaleti Airfield.
Yep.
Now change the navigation input to TAC for TACAN. And set the navigation mode to TAC as well.
Hmm?
Set
Oh,
the
okay.
IFF master
Two switches.
switch to the standby position. Good. Now, check the radar altimeter on the instrument panel. The white off flag should have disappeared from view.
Yep.
For the moment, we will set the radar altimeter to 0 feet. This avoids having the red low-altitude warning light illuminated during the upcoming tasks. You may set an arbitrary value to check if the lamp is working correctly, and then set it back to 0.
Okay. Done.
On the altimeter, set the correct QNH. According to the current MET report, it is 2984.
Set.
The altimeter should then show reset the static pressure compensator, the SPC, by moving the CAD switch forward. Then check that the amber static correct light on the telepanel goes out and remains out. The altimeter reading does not exceed plus or minus 25 feet from the original reading you remembered. And the altimeter indicates the field elevation within a maximum tolerance of 90 feet.
Well, Kubaleti's right next to the sea, so that looks like it's fine.
Remember the value again, then reset the altimeter. This is done by turning the switch on the lower right corner to the reset position and holding it there until the red standby flag disappears. Then, check that the indicated altitude does not vary more than plus or minus 75 feet, and the altimeter still indicates the field elevation within plus or minus 75 feet.
Looks fine.
Good. Now check the speed brakes. Command the brakes in, and the corresponding light on the telepanel should be extinguished.
Speed brakes out. Speed brakes in.
Now command the speed brakes to out, and observe the corresponding light on the telepanel is illuminated. The crew chief should also
brakes
report
out.
speed brakes out.
Now, I believe the speed brakes are on the wing. I'm gonna finish this taxi lesson, then we'll go. You heard the bus.
Finally, command the speed brakes back to in, and observe the light is extinguished again. The crew chief should report speed brakes in.
Speed brakes in.
Okay.
Good. Now let's check the slats and flaps. For this, initially check that the slats flaps lever is in the norm position. The indicators should show slats in and flaps up.
Okay.
Now, command slats and flaps to the out position. The indicator should change to show slats out and flaps down.
Slats out. Flaps down.
Yep.
Next, check the slats override system. To do this, lift the guard and set the slats override switch to the in-aft position. The slats should then retract, and the slats indicator should show in.
Slats in, sir.
Okay.
Finally, move the slats override switch back to the norm or forward position, and observe that the slats indicator shows out again. The guard can now be closed.
Slats out, sir.
Sir? Nice.
Next, let's check the flight controls. Initially, set pitch trim to 3 units nose down.
Okay.
Then, set the slats and flaps to out and down and release the stick. Now ask the crew chief for the flight controls check. You will perform all the steps in sequence following my commands. The crew chief will confirm your actions when successful. Got it? Here we go. Pull the stick full aft.
Yeah, ready. Stab up.
Release the stick.
Stabilizer down.
Fully depress the left rudder pedal.
Rudder left.
Release the left rudder pedal. Fully depress the right rudder pedal.
Rudder right looks good.
Release the right rudder pedal. Move the stick full left.
Roll left.
While holding the stick fully left, engage yaw stab augmentation by moving the yaw stab aug switch forward.
Rudder kick.
While still holding the stick fully left, depress the emergency quick release lever and keep it depressed.
And rudder neutral.
Okay, now release the emergency quick release lever. And bring the stick back to center. Disengage the yaw stab aug by moving the switch to the rear. Okay, now move the stick full right.
Roll right.
While holding the stick full right, engage yaw stab og.
Rudder kick.
While still holding
Rudder
stick
neutral.
full right, depress the emergency quick release. Okay, now release the lever and bring the stick back to center. Finally, disengage yaw stab og. Set the slats and flaps to the norm position.
Slats in.
The next two
Flaps
steps
up.
need the INS set to nav mode by the Wizzo. I did that already and informed you that you are cleared prime and sync.
Okay.
Now, having received my call out, set the reference system selector switch on the ADI to the primary down position. And then set the compass mode control knob to the sync position for a few seconds and release it. This is a good moment to uncage your emergency attitude indicator.
Okay.
For this,
Canceling.
press the cage uncage
Double
knob
when ready.
and observe the red off flag disappearing. Also, match the miniature aircraft symbol with the horizon bar by rotating the knob accordingly.
Okay.
Check that all three stab log switches are set to off for taxi.
Off.
Set trim to 3 units nose down. This should be a good setting for the planned takeoff under current conditions. Note, with 3 units nose down trim, expect a nose-heavy tendency on the takeoff roll, which quickly approaches a trimmed condition as the aircraft lifts off and the geared flaps are retracted. With 1 unit nose down trim, a very marked nose-up trim occurs after approximately 230 knots, requiring a large nose-down trim change at a very low altitude. Now check the function of the trim indicator. To do this, simply confirm that the trim indicator needle followed your commands.
Nose up. Nose down. Check.
Set slats and flaps to out and down. Note that it is highly recommended to perform all takeoffs with slats and flaps out and down because of the high risk of over-rotation and a
Slats
possible tail
out.
strike during a takeoff with the slats
Flaps
and flaps
down.
up and in.
Roger.
Set the optical sight on the HUD to standby or cage, whichever you prefer.
Oh, that. All the way.
Check the pneumatic pressure indicator. It should show values within normal limits.
Okay. Check.
Check the IFF system. To self-test modes 2 and 3 alpha, place the IFF master switch to the norm position and hold the switch for the mode being tested to the upper test position. If the test light on the IFF control panel illuminates, it indicates that the mode is operating properly. Mode 1 and Mode C do not have a self-test feature.
Oh, okay.
Note, Mode 1 and 2 are usually assigned in the briefing. Mode 2 is set in the nose wheel well during pre-flight. Mode 3 is assigned by ATC, and Mode 4 is selected at the start of the mission.
That prevents friendly fire.
Check and set the radar altimeter. After confirming that the radar altimeter off flag is still not visible, perform the following actions. Press the function control switch. Then, check that the pointer moves to 35 plus minus 15 feet and stabilizes. And check that the low altitude warning light illuminates. Then, with the function control switch still pressed, move the reference marker above and below the pointer. The low altitude warning light must come on within 5 feet of the indicated altitude. Release the function control switch, Move the reference marker to below 5 feet, and check that the low altitude warning light is off and the pointer fluctuates.
Check.
Now set the reference to 550 feet. This is to give you an appropriately early warning when reaching the minimum altitude above ground level in flight.
550. Check.
When you are ready to taxi, make sure that the throttles are at idle and you are ready for wheel brakes in case they are needed. Also make sure you know how to engage the emergency brake in case normal means of braking fail for any reason. Finally, ask the crew chief to remove the wheel chocks.
Roger. Yes, sir. Chalk's out. Have a good flight, sir. Disconnecting.
Thank you.
See ya.
Task 1, before taxi procedure completed. Okay, now go through the before taxi procedure checklist on your own to make sure all the bold items were done.
Terminator on. SPC. Set check. Reference. System select. Primary. Instrument nav. Trim. Check to set. 3. -3. Slats and flats. Out and down. Check. Optical sight. Standby or caged. We have it in caged. And wheel chocks removed. Check.
Good. Now we are able to perform the taxi procedure. We will taxi to the holding point at runway 07 and make a full stop there. For this, we have to taxi straight out, then left, and finally straight ahead to the west until we reach the holding point. The marshal car in front of us will lead us. Here are some tips for safe taxiing. Always use the minimum power necessary. A maximum of 75% is a good rule of thumb. Apply power very gently, and once the aircraft is rolling, reduce power. Do not taxi faster than 20 knots, except when the taxiways and the situation allows. I will request taxi clearance whenever you are ready to go.
Let's go.
Roger, I'm taking comms command for now. Kobe Lady Tower, Dodge 11, ready at ramp 25, request taxi.
Dodge 11, clear to taxi to runway 07.
Okay. Reference set to 07.
Okay, we have taxi clearance. Carefully advance the throttles until the aircraft starts rolling. Be gentle with the throttles.
Come on.
Slightly apply both wheel brake pedals while taxiing straight ahead. Keep the rudder neutral, then press and hold the nose gear steering button on the stick. While the aircraft is slowly rolling forward, gently apply left and right rudder to check that the... Observe the aircraft following your commands.
Oh, she's a sensitive one.
During turns on the taxiway, check that the ADI, HSI, and the standby compass turn accordingly.
Yep.
Also check that the standby attitude indicator doesn't tilt during turning. Finally, check that the oxygen system is set the following way. Oxygen mode switch to normal.
Normal.
Oxygen mixture switch to normal. And finally,
Normal.
oxygen supply switch to on.
On.
Continue taxi behind the marshaller and stop the aircraft at the holding point for runway 07.
Roger. She's a rocket.
Task 2, taxi procedure completed. Well done. This concludes this lesson.
Oh, no, we're taking off. And let's do it.
Please wait until your aircraft is ready.
Welcome. This lesson deals with the takeoff procedures of the F-4U Phantom II with focus on pilot tasks. It is the continuation of Lesson 2, Taxi. We are already hot at the holding point for runway 07, and the aircraft is in the same condition in which you left it after completing Lesson 2, Taxi. I will guide you through the following procedures: before takeoff, runway lineup, after runway lineup, takeoff and after takeoff climb, and finally cruise. Good. Let's begin with the before takeoff procedure. It ensures that most systems are prepared to enable a safe takeoff. Note that this procedure still leaves some items unchecked. These are checked once the aircraft is aligned on the runway. First, recheck the setting and visibility of the optical sight. Positions standby or cage are recommended. The red reticle in the sight must be clearly visible. You may adjust the brightness with the reticle intensity knob below the sight.
Below the sight? I mean, this entire jet's below the sight.
Again, check that the internal wing transfer is set to normal position.
Check.
Next, engage the stability augmentation systems for pitch, roll, and yaw by moving all three stab lock switches forward. Now, check that the stick moves freely. Initially, move it to the left forward corner. then to the left aft corner, then to the right aft corner, and to the right forward corner. Finally, release the stick. Once more, check slats of flaps are set to the out and down positions and check the respective indications.
Check.
Set the anti-ice system as required for the current situation. Considering the Met report, no atmospheric or ground icing prevails, so you can leave it off.
Normal.
Once more, check that the pitch trim is set between 1 and 3 units nose down. Remember, 1 unit nose down gives an early rotation, and you have to trim forward very soon after liftoff. 3 units nose down gives a later rotation, but you don't have to trim forward right after liftoff.
Check.
Now, check the fuel quantity. It should indicate around 11,000 pounds of fuel.
11,350.
Now it's time to close the canopies, but first I'll explain the procedure. It is important to make sure that the throttle levers are in the idle position. Otherwise, the canopies may not close sufficiently due to premature canopy seal inflation by the pneumatic system. Normally, the Wizzo closes his canopy first and checks his canopy unlock warning light going out, while the pilot checks his unlock light, which should still illuminate. After this, the pilot closes his canopy and checks his canopy unlock warning light going out. In DCS single player, the procedure is reversed, so you close your canopy first and I will close mine thereafter.
Roger.
Okay, canopy closed, warning lights out, stripes aligned. Good. Now perform the final check of the warning lights. Move the warning lights test switch to the warning light test position and observe the following lights illuminated. The amber master caution light, the red fire lights and the red overheat lights, all red, amber, and green lights on the telepanel, and the red wheels light below the sight.
Yep. Check.
The next step for the Wizzo is to set the ejection command selector as briefed. According to the briefing, we will use the both setting. I've already set and checked this. Task 1, before takeoff procedures completed. Okay, now go through the before takeoff procedures checklist on your own to make sure all the bold items were done.
Stability augment switches off. Canopies closed and checked.
Good. Let's line up the aircraft on runway 07. For this, we will have to request clearance from the tower first. After receiving the clearance, we will then taxi onto the active runway. Once aligned on the center line, we will perform the final checks. I will request clearance for lineup whenever you are ready to go.
Ready to go.
Roger, I am taking comms command for now. City Tower, Dodge 11, ready on holding point, runway 07. Crest lineup, runway 07. Okay, now make sure to visually check the approach to the left and the runway to the right before entering the runway. Stop the aircraft on the threshold markings, just sometimes called the piano keys or zebra stripes, on a heading of 070. Remember, be gentle with the throttles. Task 2, runway lineup completed. Good. Let's perform perform the after-lineup procedure. First, check that the external fuel transfer switch is in the off position, since we don't have any external tanks on board.
Off.
Switch on the anti-skid system by moving the switch forward. Also check the AMR anti-skid inoperative light goes out.
Check.
Once aligned on the runway, check your ADI and HSI compass card for any significant heading error. It should show about 065 degrees on this particular runway. Change the HSI course setting to 065. We will follow this radial during the initial climb to turn point 1. Note that the HSI course deviation bar will be shifted left because the TACAN station is positioned left of the runway.
I see.
Next, switch pitot heat on by moving the pitot heat switch forward. Set IFF as required. Typically, it is set to the normal position.
Okay, it is.
The next step requires checking all circuit breakers in both cockpits. I've checked mine already, so you need to check the following CBs in your cockpit, starting from the left. The standby attitude indicator circuit breaker, the ARI aileron rudder interconnect circuit breaker, the two indication system CBs located near the telepanel. They're very hard to find, and usually we just put our fingers there to make sure they are pressed in, and the 7 flight control CBs located on the circuit breaker panel on the right side wall.
Check.
Finally, check that all warning lights are off. In the case the master caution light illuminates, cancel it and check that it stays off after the reset. If it stays out, no alerts are due anymore. Task 3, after runway lineup procedure completed.
Roger.
Okay, now let's concentrate on the takeoff. We are going for a normal takeoff with slats and flaps out and down.
Yep.
Decide on your own if you want to perform the takeoff with full afterburner, which in real life was a normal way to do it, or without afterburner, which is only done very rarely. You need to know the necessary steps by heart, and you should also be familiar with the needed cockpit indications, as well as have a suitable instrument scan flow.
Thanks for not telling me then.
When using it, Kobletti Tower, Dodge 11 lined up runway 07, ready for departure. Okay, you want it, you'll get it. Engage the wheel brakes.
Wheel brakes
Throttle
engaged.
both engines to 85%.
85.
Check engine parameters. EGT not higher than 450, fuel flow 4,000, nozzles 1/4 open, and oil pressure 30 to 40.
I'll check.
Okay, now release the wheel brakes and use nose gear steering gently if needed. Throttle up to full mill, engage afterburner if desired. Again, check EGT not higher than 600, and nozzles 1/4 in mill, 80 knots. Pull the stick full aft and hold it there. When the nose starts coming up, ease the stick forward to hold a 10 to 12 degree pitch attitude.
Oh, buddy.
When definitely airborne, raise gear and flaps.
You're up.
Good, the in-flight config is now okay.
Flaps up.
Gears up, slats and flaps are up and in. They're just prior to reach and hold 350 knots. Continue climbing at the 10 to 12 degree pitch attitude. Follow the radial 065 until reaching 5 miles, which is waypoint 1.
Hold on. I'm too high.
Passing waypoint 1. Turn right heading 108, climb to 4,000 feet or more. We will intercept radio 089 at 13 miles, which is waypoint 2. Adjust the HSI course setting.
Already too high. 108. Okay. Gotta go down 1,000 more feet. Oh, 4,000 or more? Okay, got it. This thing's a little firecracker, huh?
Passing waypoint 2, fly heading 114 and climb to 33,000 feet. Adjust the pitch to hold 350 knots until Mach 0.9, then hold Mach 0.9.
Mach 0.9.
Switch the TACAN to channel 044X. We will intercept radio 166 at 28 miles. Adjust the HSI course setting.
166, 28.
Switch altimeter setting to standard.
That's 2992.
We are departing from the planned flight corridor. Use the standard altimeter setting above the transition altitude. Good. Standard altimeter setting now in use.
Fly heading 114.
We are still not within the planned flight corridor.
Bro, you gave me like a million things to do at the same time.
Return to the planned flight corridor now. Good. We are back in our planned corridor.
Okay, 0.9 coming up. Alright, we're gonna try to intersect this line. 7,000 more feet. Nose down just a little. Sending now. Here we go. We're about to intersect. Nice. We're on it. $33,000. Level off. Slow it down. Something tells me we missed one of the waypoints because they stopped talking to me. Yeah. Should be going to 2. All right. Let's change this. Let's flip this bird around.
Passing waypoint 3.
Hey, we got it.
Fly heading 090 and establish and maintain 33,000 feet. We will intercept radial 118 at 58 miles. Just the HSI course setting. We will enter the training area soon. Task 5, climb procedure completed. Okay, let's perform the cruise procedure. This procedure ensures correct system function at altitude. Therefore, it is necessary to set and check some important items. You may engage the autopilot in altitude hold mode when performing this procedure in order to have your hands free. First, set and check the altimeter. It should be set to the standard value of 29.92 already.
Yes, it is.
The indicated value should match the indications on my altimeter here in the back.
Okay, good for you.
Next, set the radar altimeter as required.
To what?
The next item is to check the ejection seat command selector position. According to the situation, I will leave it in the position both.
Okay.
Good. Now check your oxygen quantity, pressure, and blinker. The quantity should have reduced a bit, the pressure should not have changed at all, and the blinker must clearly show alternating black and white.
Roger.
Furthermore, check the cockpit pressure indicator. It should show something between 10 and 15,000 feet.
Check.
fuel quantity and set the transfer switches according to the situation. Since we don't have external tanks loaded, no change is required.
Okay. Good. We're about to intersect our line again.
Check the standby compass to see that it matches the HSI heading.
Match.
Check if any circuit breakers popped out. Set anti-ice as required. Since icing conditions still do not prevail, you can leave it off. Task 6, cruise. Procedure completed. Well done. This concludes this lesson. Now make sure to stay within the training area, to fly above 15,000 feet, to respect aircraft limitations.
Oops. Sound like you stopped talking there. Okay. It's pretty cool that the Wizzo can still fly the aircraft. I don't get a good view, but you can still fly it. Alright, we're nearing checkpoint 5. Once we cross that lake, we're going to make a north turn, and then we're going to see these two rivers trying to intersect on our left-hand side and head towards that. There's our lake. There are the intersecting rivers right there. 356. That's exactly what I put in there. Cool. Alright, take it out, autopilot. Start our turn. Okay, set the 6-7 X-ray. I think that right there is the intersecting river. So I'll make a left once that's parallel. Make a parallel turn to the tip of that river there.
We are departing from the planned flight corridor.
Are we? Yes, we are. We already passed it. Looking at the wrong one.
We are still not within the planned flight corridor. Return to the planned flight corridor now. Good. We are back in our planned corridor.
There they are. They're just covered by clouds. Yeah, baby. Two-6-5. Yellow lights. That's smooth, baby. All right, so looks like we're gonna fly right over another riverbank coming up. And then once we hit that, we are going to make a 276-degree turn. coming up. Probably underneath those clouds. Should be probably starting our turn. Yep, right now. There it is, right there. Okay, and then we'll be in between. All right, so about 29 nautical miles away. Well, from that. 22 from us. From there, we'll go in between this natural point of the ocean meeting the beach. I see it. There's Kobaletti right there. Just tell them that we're inbound.
Kobaletti, Dodge 1, inbound.
Set this to 065. Reciprocal. Start descent. Once we get about to 10,000 feet, we'll turn her around. Turn on our air brakes.
Cobblety Tower, Dodge 11, request landing.
Dodge 11, clear to land, runway 07.
07, roger.
We are departing from the planned flight corridor.
It's okay, bud. You can relax.
Good. We are back in our planned corridor. Use the QNX altimeter setting below the transition level.
29084.
Good. QNX setting in use now.
Okay. Turning around. Air brakes up. And lower our flaps. Flaps fully down. Just trim. Or air brake supply. We are at 3,000. Gear down. No? There we go. Gear down. Okay, get lined up for 1000 AGL. think I'm lined up. Yeah, there she is right there. 070. I have no idea if this is the right speed. I'm kind of skipping ahead. Just want to see if I can do it. Okay, and parachute. We did it. Oh my god. That's awesome, dude. Alright, release parachute. Woo!
Dodge 1-1. Continue taxi.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Alright, we're gonna turn off here. Yeah, baby. That was awesome. Oh, that felt good. That felt good. All right. I got more things to do today. That was a fun little new lesson with a new aircraft. And it's going to be plenty more, but just not today. Thanks for watching. Take care. Woo. That was sick.